Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we are taking a journey into a world that feels prehistoric, a place where the rules of scale seem to have been rewritten by the mist and the isolation of high altitude. We are heading to the Atherton Tablelands in far north Queensland, Australia. If you stand in these forests, surrounded by ancient Antarctic beech trees and suspended moss gardens, you might feel like you are being watched. And for decades, locals and entomologists had a sneaking suspicion that they were right. They whispered about giants in the canopy. Not birds, not possums, but spectral shapes that moved against the wind. Branches that walked. It sounds like folklore, but in the mid-2020s, science finally caught up with the rumors. Today we are talking about a creature that challenges everything we thought we knew about insect physiology. We are talking about the Atherton Titan. Its scientific name is Acrophylla alta, and it is a biological marvel that serves as a living totem for the fragile ecosystems of Queensland. So let's strip back the layers of the canopy and understand exactly what this creature is, how it evolved, and why its discovery is both a triumph and a warning. To understand the Titan, you first have to understand its fortress. The Atherton Tablelands are not just mountains, they are what biologists call sky islands. This is a crucial concept. Imagine an island in the ocean. It is isolated by water, right? Species there evolve on their own trajectory because they can't leave. The peaks of the wet tropics are exactly the same. But they aren't isolated by water. They are isolated by air temperature. These peaks rise abruptly from the coastal plains to elevations exceeding 1,000 meters. Down below, it is hot and tropical. Up on the peaks, it is cool, perpetually wet, and often shrouded in a veil of clouds. This specific climate creates a barrier. If a species adapted to the cool mists tries to go down the mountain, the heat becomes lethal. They are trapped on the summit. This isolation is an evolutionary pressure cooker. Just as the Galapagos Islands produced unique tortoises and finches, these sky islands produce unique insects. For millions of years, as the Australian continent drifted north and dried out, these peaks remained as lifeboats, preserving the ancient rainforest that once covered the entire continent. In this high-altitude cage, the ancestors of the Atherton Titan found themselves with a unique set of constraints and opportunities. And the result was a slow, measured slide toward gigantism. Now, let's talk about the sheer scale of this animal. When we think of stick insects, we usually think of those delicate, twig-like creatures you might find in your garden. The Atherton Titan is not that. The female Titan is built like a tank. She weighs in at a staggering 44 grams. To put that in perspective, that is the weight of a golf ball, or a small bird. But that weight is distributed across a slender, armored frame that is nearly half a meter long. For a long time, the record for Australia's longest insect was held by a lowland cousin called Ctenomorpha gargantua. That species is long, reaching over 50 centimeters, but it is slender. It is a stick. The Titan is a branch. It is a creature of mass. The discovery of this giant is a story in itself. It wasn't found by a massive, funded expedition with helicopters and cranes. It was formally described in 2025 by researchers including Professor Angus Emmett and Ross Coupland, but the trail to the discovery was paved by citizen science. You see, the Titan is a canopy obligate. That means it spends its entire life 20 to 50 meters above the forest floor, in the swaying crown of the rainforest. From the ground, they are invisible. They are masters of crypsis, which is the biological term for the art of remaining unseen. They don't just look like plant matter. They move like it, swaying with the wind. Finding one alive and in situ is nearly impossible. Usually, we only see them because of a disaster. A cyclone, a violent storm, or perhaps a clumsy bird dislodges a female from her perch. She falls 40 meters to the ground, stunned. It was one of these serendipitous events, a female found dazed but alive near Mila that confirmed the rumors. She didn't look like a fragile insect. She looked thick, heavy, and formidable. Let's dive into the morphology here, because the sexual dimorphism, the difference between the male and the female, is stark. The male Titan is a sleek, long-distance traveler. He is slender and capable of flight. He has to be. His job is to patrol the vast, dangerous gaps between the trees to find a mate. But the female? She has sacrificed flight entirely. She possesses wings, but they are vestigial for flying. She cannot take off. At 44 grams, the aerodynamics just don't work. Instead, she has become a sedentary fortress. Her legs are lined with serrated spines. When threatened, she doesn't just hide. She can lash out with her hind legs, using those spines to pinch or deter predators like possums or currawongs. Her wings serve a different purpose now. They are used for what is called a diamatic display. If a predator gets too close, she flashes the colors hidden beneath her primary wings to startle the attacker, buying her a split second to escape her strike. But the question remains, why get so big? In the animal kingdom, size is expensive. A larger body needs more food. It takes longer to reach maturity. It makes you a juicy target for predators. Yet, the Atherton Titan embraced gigantism. There are three main evolutionary theories that converge to explain why this happened in the Queensland highlands. The first is a variant of Bergmann's rule. Classically, this rule states that warm-blooded animals get larger in colder climates to conserve heat. Think of polar bears versus sun bears. But for cold-blooded animals, or ectotherms, it is more complex. In the cool mist-shrouded peaks of the Tablelands, being larger offers something called thermal inertia. A larger body mass cools down more slowly than a small one. The nights in the Atherton Highlands can be surprisingly chilly. A tiny stick insect might become torpid, effectively paralyzed by the cold, until late in the morning. The massive Titan, however, retains some heat from the day. This allows it to stay active for a few extra hours, feeding on eucalyptus leaves and processing the toxins in those leaves while its smaller cousins are frozen in place. The second driver is fecundity, or reproductive output. This is likely the most compelling reason for the female's massive size. Life in the canopy is dangerous for an egg. The female drops her eggs from 40 meters up. They bounce off leaves, they get eaten by foragers, or they rot in the damp leaf litter. The attrition rate is astronomical. To ensure that even one offspring survives, the female Titan has effectively evolved into a maximized egg vessel. By giving up flight, she removed the weight limit imposed by aerodynamics. She could grow as heavy as her food source would allow, packing her abdomen with hundreds of large, nutrient-rich eggs. The third factor is predation release. In many ecosystems, insects are kept small because birds eat the big ones. But the high canopy of the cloud forest is a difficult hunting ground. The foliage is dense, and the wind is constant. Spotting a stationary stick insect is incredibly hard. Furthermore, the sheer size of the Titan pushes it out of the prey bracket for smaller birds. A thornbill or a scrub wren simply cannot tackle a 44-gram spiny branch. Only larger predators like the victorious riflebird or possums pose a threat, and against them, the Titan has its camouflage and spines. So we have a creature shaped by the cold, by the need to reproduce, and by the specific safety of the high canopy. But what is its life actually like? It is a slow, vertical journey. It begins on the forest floor, a place the adult female will never voluntarily visit. The female Titan acts as a botanical bomber. She flicks her eggs from the canopy, letting them rain down onto the leaf litter below. But these aren't just random eggs. They resemble specific plant seeds found in the region. This is likely a form of ant mimicry, known as myrmecochory. The eggs have a structure called a capitulum, a fatty, nutritious handle. This handle encourages ants to pick up the egg and carry it into their underground nests. This is a brilliant strategy. Safe underground, the eggs are protected from fire, parasites, and predators until they hatch. When the nymph finally emerges, it faces the most dangerous moment of its life, the ascent. It is a miniature, fragile replica of the adult, and it must climb 30 or 40 meters of trunk. It has to navigate a gauntlet of spiders, geckos, and centipedes to reach the fresh foliage of the canopy. Those that survive the climb settle into a rhythm of eating and molting. As they grow, they shed their exoskeletons, hanging precariously from leaves. For a creature as heavy as the Titan, the final molt is a perilous engineering feat. Gravity is an enemy here. If she falls during the molt while her new exoskeleton is soft, her body will be crushed or deformed. Once she reaches adulthood, she becomes a specialist feeder. She browses on specific high-altitude rainforest trees, like eucalyptus and lily-pilly. These leaves are tough and often loaded with chemical deterrents. The Titan's large size houses a substantial gut, which acts as a fermentation chamber to break down these tough fibers and neutralize the toxins. It is a perfectly adapted life cycle. But there is a shadow hanging over the Atherton Titan. The discovery of this species has sent ripples of excitement through the scientific community. But it is excitement tempered with dread. The Titan is a creature of the cold clouds. In ecological terms, it is trapped on an escalator that is running out of stairs. As global temperatures rise, the cloud layer of the tropical mountains is lifting. The cool, misty zone that the Titan requires is moving higher up the mountain. But the mountains of Queensland are not infinite, they have peaks. Eventually, the habitat will be pushed off the top. Research indicates that high-altitude endemic species like the Titan are among the most vulnerable to climate change. If the average temperature of the Tablelands rises by even 2 degrees, the metabolic advantage of the Titan's size may turn into a liability. The distinct vegetation it relies on may be outcompeted by lowland species moving up to escape the heat. The Titan has thus become a flagship species for the conservation of the wet tropics World Heritage Area. Its presence is an indicator of a healthy, complex canopy structure and a functional high-altitude climate. Protecting the Titan isn't just about saving a big bug. It means protecting the water towers of the north, the forests that capture the rain and feed the rivers of the entire region. There is something deeply humbling about the Atherton Titan. We live in an age where we believe we have mapped every corner of the globe via satellite. We feel we have cataloged the natural world. Yet, a creature the size of your forearm was living undetected in our backyard until the mid-2020s. It reminds us that the rainforest is not just a collection of trees, it is a three-dimensional kingdom where humanity is largely confined to the basement. The canopy remains a biological frontier, accessible only to those with the patience to watch or the luck to be there when the giants fall. For the people of the Atherton Tablelands, the Titan is a new source of pride. It is a gentle giant of the mist that embodies the mystery and majesty of their unique home. It serves as a reminder to look up, to tread lightly, and to respect the giants that walk silently in the clouds above. That is the story of the Atherton Titan. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online. Make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the natural world's most fascinating secrets.